Yo, welcome back to Heartbeat Arena episode 59, where we keep it 100% all facts, no cap. It's your host, Trillionaire Chuck. In today's episode, we're diving into some intense topics. We're talking about the Cameron and Jim Jones beef, breaking down the Oklahoma City Thunder versus Cleveland Cavaliers game, right? And then we got the best for last, relationship talk. And before we dive in, come on y'all know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on all the notifications. Why? Because we keep it raw. And every episode is packed with the kind of truth that'll make you rethink everything. So, let's get into it. You know what? Before I even start with that, I want to address this once and for all. So, me and a couple of my friends, right, we're talking about this whole who's better, Jay-Z, Nas, DMX thing, right? Here's the thing. If you know history in music, right, we know Nas dropped Illmatic, shook the world up, had rappers saying, damn, I need to change my shit. Every artist was shook when Nas dropped Illmatic because of the rhyme scheme, the storytelling, how he flowed with the beat, everything. His first album didn't have no special guest appearance, but AZ, right? Which AZ was up and coming at the time, okay? Now, if you know your history, okay, Nas brought Queens, right? Because it really wasn't no rappers really repping Queens like that. Okay, Nas put a whole borough on his back. Okay, but you had Biggie, right? When Ready to Die dropped, Biggie's storytelling, Biggie's rhyme scheme was fucking amazing. It was so amazing. They crowned him King of New York. Jay-Z at the time was just a local artist trying to get on, right? So you gotta think about it. Nas is on, Big's on, right? Now Jay starts to emerge. Okay, drops Reasonable Doubt. Okay, by the time Reasonable Doubt dropped, it was being dropped. Okay, 9-6 was the year arguably the best music was produced in hip hop in the rap game. Right now, when Biggie died, it was up in the air for who would be King of New York. Biggie passed it to Jay. Go look at the interviews with Lil C's, when Lil C's and you had OG Wan and them. Look at those interviews. When OG Wan brought Jay-Z to meet Biggie, right? When Biggie saw Jay-Z didn't write his rhymes, he went in there and just flowed. Biggie was like, oh shit, this the new rappers that's coming? Biggie said, I ain't write no more. Biggie admired Jay so much. Hell, Lil C's had to tell him, bro, you forget how your shit sound? Like, do you need to hear your music? So Biggie said, yo, bro, he the king. He the best. Biggie gave him that. Now, let's dive into this whole little beef bullshit, because it was just about music until it got personal, okay? Let's break down Takeover by Jay-Z on the Blueprint album, right? You know, at first, he went at a lot of people. He didn't just stick to one person, right? So he went at Mobb Deep and he went at Nas, right? So he the second verse aimed at Nas. Third verse aimed at every other artist that was trying to come at him, right? So Nas got wind of it, dropped Ether, right? Arguably one of the best disses out there. Probably one may argue is like Ether and Toss It Up. No, not Toss It Up. What's that other diss that Tupac made? When he was like, fuck your bitch in the click you claim. Yeah, that song, that diss track, right? So we got them arguably too. And one could put No Vaseline by Ice Cube. That went kind of hard too. So them arguably top 3 disses ever made by rappers in the game, right? Okay. The Tupac diss to Biggie, the No Vaseline with Ice Cube, aimed at the whole NWA, and then Nas' Ether, okay? Now, before you be like, well, it's kind of like you sounded like Nas won the battle. But let's break the battle down. Okay, if you're gonna go off of who was more funnier lyrically and stuff like that, then yeah, you can give it to Nas, because he was more funny. I mean, calling him a camel, right? Everybody pretty much called Jay-Z a camel, right? Trying to say that, oh, Beans was better than Jay-Z. We know that's false, okay? Then he talked about the whole gun situation with Un. He said, your man stabbed Un, made you take the blame. That's probably the one real line that Nas said that was truthful. But he's trying to say you went from Jazz to Big Daddy Kane to Irv Gotti to Biggie, right? So let's break that line down. When he was hanging with Jazzo, he got on with the Sophie, Sophie shit, right? Now, after Sophie, Jazzo brought Jay-Z around to meet Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane, if you don't believe me, go Google I think Big Daddy Kane mentioned it either on Dialogue or Vlad. When he was supposed to sign Jazzo, but he heard Jay-Z rap. Big Daddy Kane asked Jazzo, hey bro, who was that dude rapping? Because that's when it was that big freestyle video where Jay-Z was rapping fast, right? He was a fast rapper, right? Then he got around Irv Gotti, okay? When Irv was with DMX and Ja Rule, they had a group called The Murderers, right? Now, if my friend would have said this, because this is the facts, right? If he would have been like, DMX is better than Jay-Z because Irv Gotti said on Drink Champs, when Nori asked the question, hey, what happened with the Murderers group? And Irv said, Ja was down to do it, DMX was down to do it. He said Jay didn't want to do it. He said, think about it. People who rap with Jay, they're nice to Jay. They respect Jay. DMX and Ja Rule don't give a fuck. They trying to bite your head off in that booth. He said, imagine being linked up with them too and then realize like, man, am I really that good? Jay didn't want to do that. If he would have said that, he could have got a notch. Right? So let's go back to scheduled programming. Okay, so now you have this whole, so now it's the King of New York shit, right? Up in the air. Okay. So when Jay did what he did on Takeover, right? Nas said, you wanted to be on every last one of my classics. That was false. Jay-Z never wanted to be on Nas's shit. No. Jay wanted Nas on his shit with Dead Presidents, and it was another joint that Jay-Z wanted him on, but Nas was missing, right? So that was false, okay? Now, when Jay was talking about Nas and Takeover, I know you missing Nas the lane. When a one hot round, come one shot, 7 to your brain, use a lane, use the fag model for Coconut, Esco trash, went from Nasty Nas to Esco's trash, because that's what he was called at first. He was Nasty Nas, right? Then he fell off. When he dropped Nostradamus, people said Nas was done. I thought he was done when he dropped I Am, right? But when he dropped Nostradamus, arguably that was his weakest album. Everybody could attest to that. That was Nas's weakest album. That's why Jay said that line. He said you had a spark when you started, but now you're just garbage. Fell from top 10 to not mention at all. Facts. You basically went from the storytelling Nas, lyrical Nas, to you tried to go commercial when you did that track with Genuine. Shorty, say what's your price? Just to back it up, do you hold my eyes? Now let's say you owe. Yeah, that's when Nas went commercial. He was doing whatever to try to stay in the game, to stay relevant before being pushed out. To the point, Nas was so mad and bitter because he said, I'm the only artist on Columbia and now I'm struggling. Look at the interviews, right? Look at the interviews. Truth be told, one could say when Biggie dropped that Ready to Die album, right? Them skits was probably aimed at Nas, the mad rapper. Because he's on Columbia and he's not getting that shine. He's not selling records, okay? So let's move along. Let's break down another line, right? He was like, why you starting now? You just garbage. To your bodyguards, Uchi Wally's verse better than yours. Matter of fact, you have the worst flow of the whole fucking song. Okay? If anybody listens to Uchi Wally Wally, Uchi Bang Bang, Jungle had the best verse out that joint. Not Nas. It was Jungle. Okay? Now let's go back to it. Matter of fact, you had the worst flow of the whole fucking song, but I know sun don't shine, the sun gon' shine. That's why your lame careers come to an end. It's only so long, fake thugs who pretend. Nigga, you ain't lived it, you witnessed it in your folks' past, scribbled in your notepad and created your life. So that one, I mean, he was just rapping on that joint. It wasn't like he was spitting the facts or anything like that. He was just rapping. I mean, Nas was a quiet dude growing up. I've heard this when I was in Boston for 3 years with an old head who was in the music game, selling drugs and everything like that, was doing music, right? Was about to get signed. All his boys got signed except him. But he met Nas, and Nas was over there be standing in the corner, right? Just quiet to himself, right? So I showed you your first tech on tour. Ask Professor. Facts. Because when you go to dialogue and type in Professor the tour, when Jay said that line, people don't know they was on tour. It was Nas, it was Jay, I think it was Redman, Method Man. They was all on the tour bus. The tour bus got stopped. They thought they was in trouble. So dudes tried to run up or whatever the case is. And Jay had a text. The professor was like, Jay was like, pulled up the text, said, nah, let him through. I got this. The dudes walked away. That's when Nas saw the tech. Okay? So let's keep breaking that down. Then I heard your album about your tech on the dresser. So yeah, I sampled your voice. That's true. He sampled his voice on 2 tracks. Somehow the rap game reminds me of the crack game on his sophomore album. And then he sampled his voice again on Dead Presidents, right? You was using it wrong. He said, you made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. Facts. Dead Presidents to this day is getting played. The original version. Yes, that's the truth. He's like, I know who I paid, God. Search Life Publishing. Use your brain. You said you been in it 10. I've been in it 5. Smarten up, Nas. 4 albums in 10 years. I could divide. Let's one to say 2. 2 of them was due. One was Nah, the other was Illmatic. That's a one hot album every 10-year average. And that's so, what'd he say? Bro, what did he lie about? What albums, without researching, without going on Spotify, can you remember off the top of the head that Nas had made within that time span up until early 2000s, right? Illmatic, It Was Written were his best albums. Stillmatic barely struggled to go platinum. To the point, in order for it to sell, he had to make a whole album dedicated to dissing Jay-Z, right? Y'all thought it was just Ether? No, Got Yourself a Gun. That's a diss track. What else is the diss? I mean, yeah. You Stillmatic, the intro did kind of kick it off, amen. But realistically, it's Got Yourself a Gun. One could say one mic might have been aimed at him, but not really. So I take that back, y'all. It was just 2 songs aimed at him. It took 2 songs. Got Yourself a Gun and We'll Say Ether was aimed at Jay, right, on that album. And Jay only mentioned Nas' name that one time. So when he dissed Nas, he made Nas relevant. Dudes forgot about Nas. They forgot about him after Nostradamus. When he dropped Nostradamus, that was it for Nas. That was it. Don't nobody even remember the Firm album like that. They don't, right? So you got one telling jokes with good lines, with good bars in it, and you got one that's spitting facts. One had a whole song dissing the dude, one had a verse. So you mean to tell me you guys are gonna side with the guy who needed a whole song to diss the one guy who just did a verse? Who needed who to stay relevant? Nas needed to diss Jay so he could sell. Because that was Nas' biggest problem. He wasn't selling. Jay was selling. Who do you hear in the clubs? Jay-Z. Who do you hear in your car radios? Jay-Z. You don't hear Nas. You don't hear Nas like that. After It Was Written, after that feature with Genuine, that was it. So you can't argue me about, that beef, that whole thing, because it's based on preference, right? One would say, now, let's just stay on topic, I'm gonna stay on topic, okay? Because when New York did vote Ether against Takeover, they voted with Nas. So Nas essentially did win that battle, but Jay-Z won the war. Because at the end of it all, when Jay took over Def Jam, who called who phone? Nas left Columbia, went to Def Jam. Hip Hop is Dead, Nas joint, I think it was produced by Def Jam. Guess who's on the track of Black Republicans? Jay-Z. So essentially, Jay-Z won the war. I know it hurts, but don't throw stones at the Jigga Man unless you know your facts, okay? And as far as him being better than DMX, this is what people say about DMX music. He raps with aggression and passion. That's it. They don't really say like, oh yeah, DMX got bars or lyrics. They say he rapped with so much passion and aggression. That's what made him great. Jay-Z, bars. He knows how to make music that lasts a lifetime. Anybody could put on a Jay-Z album to how they feel, and Jay will have an answer, probably help you how to solve it. X, not so much. One could say Slippin'. If you struggle going through something mentally and stuff, yeah, you could put on Slippin'. That's about it. That's about it. Other than that, what else can you honestly listen to DMX and he help you get you out of a problem or a situation where you're like, damn, man, I'm having girl problems and shit. I'm feeling like this. Like, y'all leave a name in the comments. Please let me know. But yeah, I just have to address that. I'm sorry that took so long, y'all. But, when people try to come at me about Jay-Z and I'm a Jigga fan and all this stuff, and I wasn't even being biased on what I just said, I was just telling you the truth about it, come with the proof. Like I said, if he would have said, if the person I was debating with on the book would have said, yo boy knew, your boy wasn't that good because he would have formed that group with the murderers, with him, Ja Rule, and DMX. And they would have took over the game together. But because your boy knew he wouldn't stand up to them dudes, he wanted out. I'd have been like, facts. You're right. Okay, cool. But I always got another trick up my sleeve. Now I would have hit him with it. But he didn't pull it out. So he got to hold that L. But let's talk about this Cameron and Jim Jones beef, okay? So, source from HipHopDX report. On January 2025, Cameron and Jim Jones, two legendary figures in the rap group Dipset, right, have been at odds for years, okay? Their beef has left fans divided, raising the question, who is the sucker in this beef? Cameron or Jim Jones, right? So let's talk about it. The rift reportedly began due to disagreements over business decisions within Dipset. Jim Jones felt sidelined and underappreciated for his contributions to the group's success. In contrast, Cameron accused Jim of being disloyal and undermining his leadership. Now, over the years, though, the two have taken shots at each other in interviews and social media posts. Jim Jones has accused Cam of being manipulative, while Cameron has criticized Jim for aligning with rivals, right? Despite moments where the duo appear to patch things up, tensions have resurfaced repeatedly, often reignited by petty grievances or misunderstandings, right? Now, if you know the beef between Jimmy, Cam, and Joel Santana and all that stuff, right? When they broke up, Cameron went on a hiatus, right? And, Jimmy was holding it down for Dipset. He was repping Dipset, right? Now, there was one guy who was trying to explain the beef, and then he was trying to talk about Cameron was being platinum. No, Cameron was not being platinum. Cameron did not become a platinum artist within a year he made an album until he made Come Home With Me, and that's when he was signed to Rockefeller, right? But who was on them tracks that helped Cameron go platinum? Oh, Joel Santana. Oh, Jim Jones was on there. Oh, Freaky Zeke, Freeway, Benny Siegel. They were on that album. Jay-Z was on the album, right? Why do you think when Cameron was beefing with Jay, why do you think Jay-Z said the only time you went plat, my chain was on your neck? That's an actual fact, right? Now, with that in mind, let's talk about when Jim Jones started building the buzz. When he dropped Ballin', right? Remember, Jim Jones was at Koch. He wasn't with Rockefeller. He was on Koch, okay? And he dropped Ballin'. So when he dropped Ballin', that boosted, he went platinum that year. Hustlers, Harlem Hustlers, product of my environment, right? But Cameron was not on the Jim Jones track to go platinum. So what does that say about the artist? Right then and there, right? Now, yes, one could pull. Actually, I take that back. Cameron was on the album. He was on Big City Bright Lights, I believe. Or no, he was on Pin the Tail of the Donkey. Pin the Tail on Jim Jones's album. He was on there, right? So they was on each other's album, right? But the thing is that Jim Jones, to me, right? He all the stuff that he went through, those beefs, the rivalries, is because of Cameron running his mouth. Who did he go get? Jim Jones, the enforcer. Who taught Jim Jones how to rap? Mace did. But let's not get it twisted. They said, Jimmy, you should rap, right? Jim Jones like, nah, I don't want to do all that. You know, he don't want to do that. He just wanted to be around them and kick it, right? They was like, nah, man, come rap. You should rap. Bro, this is how you do it. Nah, I don't want to do that, G. So they forced him into rapping. So that's when Jimmy learned to rap. But Jimmy put out the most music out the group. If you go on Spotify, if you go on Apple Music, look up Jim Jones, look at all the mixtapes and albums he put out over Cameron and Joel Santana. Like, Jim Jones was putting on for Dipset, okay? So, with that being said, here is the question. Who is the sucker in this beef? Is it Cameron or Jim Jones? Factually, assigning blame depends on perspective, right? Cameron's approach to leadership may have come across as dismissive, but Jim's public airing of grievances hasn't helped the group's image either, okay? Both have played a role in fueling the tensions, making it hard to label one as a definitive sucker, okay? Now, Cameron was upset because 50 called Jim, and Jim went on stage, and Joel Santana went on stage in the height of 50 and Cameron's beef. Cam was pissed about that. I'm not gonna lie. If I was Cam, I would have been upset too. If my boys went on stage with a dude I'm having beef with, right? But you knew when Jim Jones was on Love Hip Hop New York, and then he did the thing at the Breakfast Club, that interview, when he was crying, and he was like, all of my beefs, everything, all this I got into was because of Dipset, not me. And that's what people don't understand. And then when Cameron did the interview, he was basically saying like, man, I was hoping he ain't cry. I was like, man, don't cry, because Jim is emotional. But that's my brother. I call him. Even in the song to Once Upon a Time, that song they made, that's the name of the song, Once Upon a Time, right? Cameron said, if it ain't Jones, nigga, I don't make up with him. So he's basically saying like, bro, if it ain't Jim Jones, like, only person I really will resolve an issue with is Jim Jones. Because that's like his brother, right? Because again, whenever beef starts with Cam, he calls Jimmy, and Jimmy goes and handles it. So realistically, yeah, it's perspective. I think personally, Cam is kind of foul because damn well, Jim Jones is emotional, but for a fact you put Jim Jones in some fucked up situations due to the beefs that you started over bullshit. You know that. Now, like, if Jimmy needed some help with some money or whatever the case may be, bro, you were supposed to be the first person to get that man some bread. That man was your ride or die. Now, I'm talking with my boy about this, right? I'm talking to him about this, and he was like, if your man's, see, this is what he didn't say though. He said, if your man needed some money, you've been rocking with him for so long, if he needed it, you supposed to give it to him. I said, no, I'm not going to give it to him if he constantly keep asking me for it, right? Instead of, I know if you went to another dude that I'm beefing with, or I'm at odds with, asking them for some cash, I'll be like, I would kind of feel some type of way, but I'm like, why would you go over there? You know what I'm saying? and ask them, right, why you just can't go get it on your own. That's what I was telling them. Go get it on your own. Because I'm not going to keep helping the grown men. But what he didn't say was the dude had your back. Whatever drama you had with other people, you was able to walk the streets because you was linked with him, right? Now I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I will give him the money. Because without him, I probably wouldn't even be here. Because it was dudes that wanted me, and because he had my back, yes, I'm gonna look out for him. I ain't have to get my hands dirty. I called my homeboy up. Hey man, go handle that. He sent the dudes. He sent some dudes to go handle that. So yes, you're supposed to look out for the dudes who are like that, who are about that. You look out for them. They are your enforcers. Them the soldiers. But Cam didn't do that, which made Jim have to go ask the person he was beef with at the time for some bread, which made Jim feel some type of way because all the beefs that everything I done for you, I done kept you safe when dudes wanted to come at you. These beefs that you've had, right, were over you, Cam. You want to bring up the Mano beef? Yeah, okay. Mano might have whooped Jim, the Max B thing. Okay, why would you bring a dude around that your boy is at odds with? Why would you even do that? That made no sense at all. So now, I feel Jim on this. I do. Because the stuff I got into is because I was linked with you. When I was making business moves, I'm learning from you. And you did some, and Jim alluded to this, and you could fact check me, go on YouTube and check it, right? Jim said, man, Cam is manipulative, right? I would manipulate others to get what I wanted because I learned it from Cam, okay? Rather that's true. Remember, Jimmy was in the streets. He ain't know nothing about the business and music. Cam didn't know nothing about the music industry until he got with an accountant, a chick who had to show him, the ropes in the game. So Jimmy was like, once he understood, he never took advantage of anybody else, right? That's for y'all to decide. Y'all decide that, okay? But it's to answer the question, who's the sucker in this beef? Cameron or Jim Jones? That's up to perspective. So me personally, I think Cam is wrong because he knows good and well that Jim Jones could have been killed over the stuff that you did throughout your entire career in the rap game and in the streets, okay? So I feel like Cam should apologize to Jim for doing that. I understand he brought 50. Jim should let that go, but 50, everywhere 50 go, he starts stuff, man. Some reason. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Okay, yes, I had to give me a green apple, right? Because this game here was awful. OKC faced off against the Cleveland Cavaliers, all right? January 16th, 2025, okay? OKC had 134. Cleveland Cavaliers had 114. Okay, so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right, had 40 points. He had 2 steals, 8 assists. Luguentz Dort, hopefully I'm saying his name right? He had 22 points. He had 1 block. He had 1 steal. He had 2 assists. He had 2 rebounds, right? Then you had Jalen Williams, who had 19 points. He had 2 blocks, 3 steals, 5 assists. He had 6 rebounds, right? Then you had off the bench Isaiah Joe, who had 12 points. He had roughly around 2 steals, 3 rebounds, right? So let's just go over the percentages on the field, right? So Shai was 17 for 26 from the field. He shot 1 for 5 from 3. He made all of his free throws, which was a total of 5, all right? Luguentz Dort was 8-11 from the field. He was 6 for 9 from 3. He didn't make it to the free throw line. Then you had Jalen Williams, who was 8 for 14 from the field. He was 1 for 4 from 3, Okay. Then last, like I said, Isaiah Joe, who was 4 for 7 from the field, he was 4 for 7 from 3. So OKC could light it up from the 3. They could light it up in bunches of numbers. Shoot, even Alex Caruso had 10 points. He was 3 for 3 from the field, 100% perfect, and 2 for 2 from 3. Like, man, it was OKC's night. All right. So, I mean, let's talk about these Cavaliers. It ain't really nothing much to really speak on. Darius Garland had 20 points. He was 7 for 10 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 5 for 6 from the free throw line, and he had 2 rebounds, 9 assists, right? He had 1 block, too. Donovan Mitchell. I can't stand this man. I'm starting to think what Brandon Jennings said on Gil's Arena about this man is accurate. You played 21 minutes and had 8 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 for 15 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Trash! Brother, what's wrong with you? I'm going to talk about you a little bit later. Let's see what Jared Allen did. Jared Allen played 16 minutes, had 13 points. He had 7 rebounds. He was 6 for 6 from the field. He only went to the free throw line once, made his free throw. Evan Mobley, 18 minutes, had 5 points. He was 2 for 7 from the field. He was 0 for 2 for 3, and he made 1 free throw. Now, here's the crazy part. He only had 3 rebounds. These are they bigs, and they're supposed to be out here out-rebounding the Thunder. I mean, my goodness. What are y'all doing? Y'all have the arguably, like, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. Like, come on now. Why y'all are struggling on the boards? Why? Jared Allen, number 1 in rebounding, struggling on the boards, and you only get 7? Y'all make it seem like OKC is a tall team. They not in the paint. I mean, OKC's relentless pace and three-point shooting overwhelmed Cleveland's defense, right? I just don't. This game, it was over before it even started. Watching this game, like, OKC took their foot off the gas. They was beating these boys down 40-17 in the second quarter. Like I said, OKC is a young team that goes up and down that court. And, man, when they go and they got it, and there's no one stopping them. When they got it going, they got it going. I mean, Shea damn near had 30 in the second half. He just slowed up. I mean, the question is, can Donovan Mitchell take the Cleveland Cavaliers to the finals? I mean, while Donovan Mitchell is a dynamic scorer and leader, the Cavs lack the depth and consistency to compete with the top teams in the East, right? Mitchell's supporting cast must step up for Cleveland to become true contenders. As of now, the Cavs seem more likely to make a deep playoff run than a finals appearance, right? But here's the thing, though. Donovan has to be consistent, right? Like, Donovan can't be having no fucking 8 points. That's pathetic. And y'all definitely got to be rebounding because y'all let Shea had, how many rebounds? He had 3. Jalen Williams had 5. Then you got Cason Wallace, who had 6 rebounds, right? So let's see here. That means Evan Mobley got out-rebounded by, heck, him and Shea had the same amount of rebounds. That's freaking crazy. Jalen Williams had more rebounds than Evan Mobley. You can't lose on the boards. Y'all the tallest team in the East damn near. So y'all, depending on who Cleveland matches up with, I think y'all just pretending. Y'all should have beat this team easily. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley supposed to have career highs. And for them to only have 13, Jared to have 13 points and Evan Mobley to have 5 points is embarrassing. It's freaking embarrassing. Because the only person that had double figures on that team was Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and a dude off the bench, Ty Jerome. 12 points, 16 minutes. 4 for 5 from the field, 2 for 3 from three-point range, 2 for 2 for the free throw line. And you got OKC with one person scoring 19, one person scoring 40, another person scoring 22. Then you got one person scoring 10, and another person scoring 12. That 40 did y'all in. So that means it would have took, it's literally going to take what? It took Darius's points, which he had 20. Ty Jerome, he had 12, which makes 32. And then Donovan's weak-ass 8 to offset Shea's 40. I mean, look, I don't know. They're not going to, I think they're just pretenders. I think all of this is probably, this might just be luck of the draw right now. Because they should have dominated this team 134 to 100. But Donovan, you gotta play better, man. What's your excuse now? You have a team. You have a go. You know, front court, back court. Your squad is built for the championship, for the NBA Finals. But you're gonna have to step it up, brother, or else go fishing in Cancun. And so we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Okay, we're back. So let's get into the final segment of the show, relationship talk. Okay, so this came down my timeline, and so I was like, well, let's address it and let's talk about it. So the question is, why do you think your past relationships didn't work out, right? So here's what Psychology Today says in their blog, why relationships fail, right? One, they say self-reflection, right? Many relationships fail because of unresolved personal issues. Self-awareness and emotional maturity are essential for building healthy partnerships. This is true, right? Never jump into a relationship until you are fully healed, okay? You can't go into a relationship expecting your partner to heal you. It's not gonna work, okay? That's just a ticket time bomb for failure, right? You see, a lot of these people, they jump to a relationship because they don't want to feel lonely, right? They want someone to love them, but yet they're not loving themselves. Some are stemming from trauma, right? Think about it. If you got to tell a person, hey, I have trust issues because I've been burned from previous relationships, okay? I'm just telling you, but I do like you and I want to be with you. You shouldn't be dating until those trust issues are fully resolved, okay? You have to be aware of yourself, you know? Be aware of how you are, who you are as an individual before jumping into a relationship, okay? Communication breakdowns is another one. Poor communication is a common reason relationships fall apart. It's the number one why people get together, and it's the third of why people break up, okay? Failing to express needs or listen to your partner can create lasting resentment. You know, people be scared to open up and talk because they feel it's a sign of weakness, or the person's not going to understand them, or the person just is not paying attention to them, right? With this, you have to understand, right, that it takes compromise, and you also have to listen and accommodate. When I say accommodate, like, hey, if something's bothering your spouse or your partner, you have to listen and be able to help them and help guide them through it. Okay, we're not talking about past drama issues. We're talking about simply like if they're having a bad day, if they're stressed out about something. It could be how someone might have talked to them. It could have been their performance at work was bad, so now the boss is taking it out on them. If it's a financial thing, y'all got to sit down and budget and talk with each other with respect first, okay, more than anything, okay? Then lastly, you have unrealistic expectations, right? You're expecting your partner to meet all your needs or change to fit your ideal often leads to disappointment. When I say change to fit your ideal, meaning your ideal version of the man or woman you want to be with. You see the signs early. So I hate it when guys and women be like, oh my God, like they became drug users. They probably was already that and you just ignored it. You thought you could change them. No. When you read the book, The Four Agreements, that's the one thing they teach. They say, learn to try to accept who that person is at face value. Do not try to change them, right? If this person is a smoker, don't try to change them from stop smoking. No. They have to want to stop. The question is, can you tolerate it? Can you deal with it? Oh, you know this person is lazy. They really don't aspire to be nothing in life. Can you deal with that? Man, this person is busy. Like they always busy doing stuff, whether it's in the community, whether it's at work, whether it's on their side business, they're always busy. Can you handle that without being insecure, right? You can't have these expectations of, oh, the ideal man, he's rich, he's loving, he's caring, he understands me, and he doesn't mess around on me, and that's who I want to be with. Well, realistically, Are you around a bunch of millionaires? No. If you're not in that circle, then you need to change your expectation of that. Maybe because you want a rich person, you got to be around where rich people are. You got to be able to identify who's rich and who's not. Who got the money, who faking like they got the money. Who got real money and who got show money. It's tax season. You're going to see a lot of show money, right? So don't fall for the okie doke. I'm going to say it again. Don't fall for the okie doke, right? Just get their taxes and you like, oh, that man balling. You don't see that vehicle. Y'all be thinking your man's or the woman gotta, like, for the guys, oh, she gotta be nasty. She gotta be a freak. She gotta be able to cook. She gotta be able to clean. She gotta be able to, she gotta listen and follow. Okay, cool, bro, but are you around women that do that? You're typically not really gonna find them if they're at the club every week. You're not. Because if they're at the club every week, how are they on top of things? They're always out kicking it, you know? If you spend time with her and she ain't cooked a meal and y'all been rocking for 3 months, what, you gonna be mad? Hey man, you ain't never cooked. Like, do you know how to cook? And she be like, no. Oh, she gonna learn to cook for me. She gonna learn to cook. Nah, bro, that's not her shit. She don't cook. She orders out. No one ever taught her. You have to, you may have to change your expectation because you're not around the ones that do be cooking, which means you have to change your environment. So stop setting these unrealistic expectations of your partner, right? They gotta be this, they gotta be that. It's like, just learn the person. That might be your person that, hate to say it, that God might match you up with. Why do I say hate to say it? Because people miss their blessing because they friend zone the dude that really want to be with them, ladies. And dudes friend zone the girl or don't pay attention to the girl that really got their best interest. That's all I'm saying. Basically, at the end of the day, y'all, relationships require effort, understanding, and growth. Learning from past mistakes can help pave the way for a stronger future. Okay? Can't stress that enough. It's about understanding, effort, and growth. If you can't understand that, then you don't need to be with anybody. But that's my show for today. It's your host, Trillionaire Chuck, reminding you to always love yourself and each other. I'm out of here. Oh, man. I forgot. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you next time on Heartbeat Arena. It's your boy Trillionaire Chuck. I'm out.